Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. Check this out. On this episode, what we're going to talk about is hip hop turning 50. Um, and before the podcast ends, we're going to play this little game called the Hip Hop Challenge. And it's a challenge that I actually want to extend to all of you who are listening. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. At the time of this recording, hip hop is officially 50 years old. If you've been following along, if you've been hiding under a rock, hip hop celebrated its 50th birthday on August 11th, August 11th, 2023. It was widely it's widely recognized as being created by the legendary DJ Kool Herc on August 11th, 1973. And if you follow the podcast, I just did an episode basically shouting out and thanking Kool Herc for, doing the impossible and doing something that he probably just loved to do and end up creating or helping to create a genre that, not anybody thought would be around this long. But I want to talk a little bit about, just hip hop turning 50 and my thoughts on it. First and foremost, I'll be honest. I mean, like, there's a certain level of pride. There's a certain level of enthusiasm with, hip hop turning 50, at least being around to see it. As many of you know, maybe you don't know, I mean, hip hop turned 50 and I'm 50 as well. So I was born December 9th, 1972, roughly about 20 miles away from hip hop, where hip hop was created in the Bronx. I was born in Newark, New Jersey. So, and I mean, we didn't live in New Jersey long, but that's where I was born. But I mean, like, I didn't know hip hop or rap at the particular time was being created. It was something that I wouldn't discover until probably around, I don't know, the age of 12, was when I really, really fell in love with rap at the time. But to see it go to turn 50 it's a huge accomplishment. And the reason why I say that is because, like, nobody knows when, or at least I don't know, when R&B was created. Nobody that I know knows when rock and roll was created or when jazz was created or anything else of that nature. But to be able to say, hey, we have a specific date in which we can trace back the history and the roots of this particular genre, I think that's special. And having lived and watched almost it from its infancy, I think is even more special to me and people around my age because, we knew what it was, particularly growing up. And what I mean by what it was that, it wasn't supposed to be around this long. It was supposed to be a fad. It was supposed to be something that came and went. In fact, I'll be honest, like, I had several grown-ups at different points in my life tell me, like, nah, that rap stuff, it ain't gonna be around us. It's gonna leave. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be a fad just like disco. Or some even more contemporary people would say it's gonna be a fad just like breaking, short for breakdancing, because that was a big thing too when I was coming up. Breakdancing and breaking really was strong for about a good 2 years maybe, and then it would just totally just went away. And so that's what rap was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a fad. It wasn't supposed to be something that would be around, let alone a couple of years. And it wasn't definitely something that you could see yourself making money off of or making a career out of, as so many people have done over this 50-year span. But yeah, being able to see the tributes, I got a chance to see and witness live on YouTube, and surprisingly still on YouTube, the 50th celebration. I was in Yankee Stadium. A slew of hip hop acts came through and performed. I was closed out by the legendary, the Kings of Rock, Run DMC, and I'll touch on that in just a few as I play this challenge. but yeah, it was crazy. And I mean, like being able to see artists like Nas, and Nas brought out Lauryn Hill, and so many others. I don't want to start naming names of artists. It is on YouTube again. It's called Hip Hop is 50. And all you have to do is just search that on YouTube. It'll pop up. The concert is an 8-hour concert, and I didn't see all of it, but I'm planning on going back and watching all of it again in its entirety. Not all at once, but in bits and pieces. And but just being able to see that, and it's kind of funny because me and my man Eclect, shout out to E, we were texting and tweeting during the whole thing, like I don't know if the crowd really understood, like, this is Run DMC on the stage. Like, you don't get this every day. In fact, it's been widely reported that that's going to be their last time performing together. And if I hope that's not the case, but if it is, because they don't tour anymore, they don't perform that much anymore. If that's the case, I'm glad I got a chance to witness it. But I definitely would have been in the crowd holding my phone up in the air, trying to record it, because for the people who were there, yeah, you got all of this footage of these people, these acts, these legacy acts, if you will. You got videos of them, but it's 2 weeks later now. What have you done with the videos? You posted on social media and you forgot about it. But nonetheless, I was still happy to see that. Happy to see not just that concert, but the Rock the Bells tour concert, and then the Force tour that's going on right now. It's going through, I think, 40, 50 different cities or whatever, headlined by LL Cool J and the Roots. I think that's incredible. The funny thing is, I haven't been to a concert all summer, and I just missed the Force tour. It was just here at the time of this recording last night in Atlanta. Monday nights doing a concert, it just wasn't gonna happen. I just couldn't pull. That'd be a lot for me to try to pull off and work the next day, even though I work from home. Nah, I couldn't do it. But nonetheless, I mean, like, being able to see these acts, seeing hip hop being recognized as Essence Festival, the ladies of hip hop were recognized, and a lot of the ladies from hip hop performed at Essence Festival. And so really just seeing the love and the attention that hip hop has gotten, both not just nationally, but worldwide, particularly over these last couple of weeks, has been really, really special to me, I think. And it's been a sight to behold because, rap and hip hop has, for so long gotten a bad name, if you will, a bad rap, if you will. But to see it celebrated, I think that was cool. It's not lost on me as far as, the significance of that particular moment, the significance of being able to stop and pause and recognize someone like DJ Kool Herc, aka Clive Campbell, to stop and recognize his sister, who, as legend has it, his sister asked him to throw this party, so that she could raise money for school supplies, I think. And it was 50 cents for guys to get in, 25 cents for girls to get in. And the party went from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. In the Bronx. And so, recognizing those two and for them to be here and be able to get their flowers, I think is important. And it's also important just to see really how far we've gone as far as hip hop is concerned. And I say we because I'm a part of hip hop. You are a part of hip hop. We're part of the culture. Our culture drives everything. And I don't think we should get, lost in that. I think we have to keep in mind, that we have a say, we have a voice, and we have to take advantage of that for as long as we have it. But I really did enjoy the outpouring of love and support that I saw, not just on TV or on social media, but just everywhere. And again, it was great to see hip hop recognized and celebrated for its 50th. And just because the actual date is passed, that doesn't mean it's going to stop. I mean, you're going to see hip hop tributes, going forward for the rest of this year, because it's still, something worth celebrating. Now, on the flip side, I did did get a chance to see some pushback if you will. Um, One person in particular, and I mean he has a right to his opinion. One person in particular was Jermaine Dupri, and I'm going to read to you what Jermaine Dupri said here recently. Um, of course, the like I mentioned before, the Hip Hop is 50 concert. Um, that was at Yankee Stadium. The show was billed as a something to represent the 70s, the 80s, and 90s. You saw people dressed out in Adidas gear and dressed like it was back in the day, and Kango hats and you know everything, gold chains, everything. Um, but here's what Jermaine Dupri had to say. He said, and for those of you who don't know, Jermaine Dupri, rapper slash producer from Atlanta. He said, quote, just for the record, no brands have done any dinners or get together in Atlanta celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That's crazy! Exclamation point. He tweeted out to his followers. And so he was, based on this tweet, disappointed that Atlanta was not recognized in hip hop. A few days later, the great Uncle Luke from Two Live Crew said, quote, hip hop fans from Florida, don't be upset that they don't recognize your favorite Floridian artist as part of hip hop's 50-year celebration. This industry has never considered us hip hop from the time that I started in hip hop in the South. You can only imagine the names they called us: country music, country booty music, trash music. I can go on and on about the disrespect Florida hip hop has gotten. Still to this day, we fight for our respect, and you have stood behind us every step of the way. Close quote. Now, Luke, I think, was honored at the BET, or Two Live Crew were honored or performed, I should say, at the BET Awards. I think I didn't watch it. And in some of these celebrations, a lot of it, particularly the Hip Hop is 50 concert, they were basically legacy acts. And I would consider Luke and Jermaine Dupri to be legacy acts. They've been around long enough. Do they have a legitimate gripe? Yes and no. Yes, in a sense, because I guess if you wanted to participate and you weren't asked, then I guess you got a gripe for that. No, to some degree, because for someone like Jermaine Dupri, who is heavily influenced as far as one of the pioneers of Atlanta hip hop, if you want something to be celebrated for Atlanta's hip hop or Atlanta's contribution to hip hop, and we know that the A has played a part in that. And again, I live in the city, so I've been here 26 years, so this is home for me. My message to Jermaine Dupri: if you want something celebrating 50 years of hip hop in Atlanta, throw it yourself. Duh. I mean, that would be the easiest thing to do. And then here's the thing that I think Luke and Jermaine Dupri kind of lose sight of. And it was something that wasn't lost on me as I watched that concert. And this is something that if you're not of a certain age group, you really wouldn't understand the concept. So I want to break it down to you. Hip hop or rap, particularly early rap, was very, very, very much regional. It wasn't until really the late 90s going into the 2000s, particularly with the advent of technology, that hip hop really started expanding and being more accepting in other regions. I mean, it got its start in New York. So if you have a hip hop is 50 concert, and you're inviting legacy acts, yeah, you're probably going to have the Treacherous Three. You're probably going to have Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel. You're probably not going to have Kilo Ali, who's from Atlanta, and he's huge in Atlanta, and he's one of the pioneers of Atlanta rap. But no, you're not. You're gonna have Kool Moe Dee out there before you have Kilo Ali, and that's not to say that Kilo Ali isn't important or Two Live Crew isn't important, but rap, particularly if you go back, it was so regional. I mean, like, and I always tell people this, and I say this as a huge hip hop fan. One of the dope things about me being from where I'm from, Florence, South Carolina, is that when I fell in love with hip hop, there were no regions. I mean, New York was running it. It was just New York, and then you got a little bit. Then I started getting into the West Coast. But it was no biases as far as the fans were concerned. Like, probably in the early 2000s, you may have a segment of fans who they could say, well, I only quote unquote listen to down south hip hop. And you may have some dudes up north in New York to say, I only listen to quote unquote New York hip hop, or West Coast, and they only listen to West Coast hip hop. We didn't have that to do because we were all encompassing. There was no representation of the South, at least to me, in 1984 when I picked up Run DMC's tape. It was what I had, so I just had to go with what I had, and that was Run DMC's tape. But so I think in some of those celebrations, yeah, it's going to be a little regional. I don't necessarily know that that's an intended slight. Now, yeah, you did. I think I want to say Too Short was at this show. I think E40, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen all of the show, but what I'm saying is that, yeah, you're not going to, if you have a celebration, one, you can't have everybody out there. I mean, we saw that with the Grammys this past year when they tried to honor hip hop, and you got 14 minutes to bring out 100 people. I mean, it's not going to happen. So, that makes it that much tougher. But at the end of the day, I think you have to understand that, yeah, hip hop again was very regional, and with it being regional, naturally they're going to have the acts, the Big Daddy Kanes, the Cool G Raps, and they're not going to have, some of the Southern acts. But that doesn't mean that the South can't be recognized, or the West, or the Midwest, or wherever else we want to do something with. I mean, there's nothing that's stopping a 50-year anniversary of hip hop concert at the Staples Center. And you have just mostly West Coast artists. I mean, there's nothing stopping that from happening. I think it would be dope if it did happen, and we still have, some more of this year to do it, or you could celebrate it next year. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I think the fans just want to see their favorite artist. And I think that's the bottom line. I wasn't offended that there wasn't much Southern representation at the concerts that I saw. If you go see the Force Tour that's currently touring right now, there's some Southern acts that they pick up along the way. But I'm not mad at it. I mean, like, I don't think even Rock the Bells, it's always been pretty much inclusive. The Roots Picnic, they include artists from everywhere. Now, what you will get, though, if you're looking to see those celebrations of hip hop, you're probably not going to get some of the current artists. In fact, you probably shouldn't, to be honest, because the current artists, they dominate, the current wave of whatever's on MTV or whatever's on BET or whatever's on whatever. So no, they're not going to be at the Rock the Bells. You don't need to have Lotto at Rock the Bells, because she's not a legacy act. She can play BET, she can play MTV. So, I wouldn't be looking to have her now. And now they do festivals and stuff like that. So I get where they were coming from, but I think it's kind of pointless, because really, if you want that kind of representation, particularly for two people who are as big in the South as Uncle Luke and Jermaine Dupri, you can put on for your own city. And I think that'd probably be a whole lot easier than waiting on an invitation to join some other big hip hop celebration with people from all around the country. So what's next? Is hip hop is 50. So what's next? What does the next 50 years look like? 50 years from now, I'll be 100. So I'll be around, but I'm sure I'll probably still be listening to the same stuff I'm listening to now. It's hard to say. I mean, like, so where's hip hop going? That's a great question. I will admit that a lot of what hip hop is today, I'm not really tapped into. You know, there was a particular time in my life where like new music would drop on Tuesdays, and I go to the record store and buy all the CDs that I could or could afford, and the ones that I couldn't afford, I cop a dub or whatever like that. But no, now it's too there's too much stuff. There's too much music, and the fans I don't necessarily know are gravitating toward the music that's coming out at least the way that they probably should because there's such an abundance of music. The market is so saturated that the new Nas album will come out. Oh man, you got to hear this new Nas album. You got to hear this new Nas album. And then 2 weeks later, y'all not talking about it no more. Y'all moved on to the next new hottest album that came out. And so, it doesn't sit with people as much as it should. I'm not really sure what's next for hip hop. I do know that in order for the genre to grow, as far as the culture to grow, you have to be willing to be innovative. You have to be willing to push the button. You have to be willing to capitalize on your originality. That's one thing that, at least standing from afar, or in my yard, I don't see a lot of originality. So I mean, like, that's going to be the thing that's going to propel the genre and propel artists, going forward. As fans, I think you definitely, excuse me, need to demand more from your record labels, demand more from your artists. Everybody has, I always say, everybody's got a place at hip hop's table. Some people have a very temporary seat at that table. And, I would like to see, and there's no knock on the ladies or anything like that, but I would definitely like to see more creativity. Just rapping about your body or what you can do to a man. I mean, after a while, it gets tired. If you're rapping about how much drugs you sold, how many people you kill, after a while, it gets tired. I mean, your fan base isn't going to take to that. Now, if you want to do that for 5 years and be out the game, that's cool, because that's probably what's going to happen. And you might not make 5 years, be honest, because the music cycle changes so much. The cycle probably now is on a 2.5, 3 year span, and that's it. And then as your fans get older, if your message doesn't change, your fans will change, because your fans will stop. Oh, I don't want to hear them, But what the next 50 years look like, really, honestly, depends on you, the fans. You guys will determine how and what hip hop is. It won't be the artist, because the next dope rapper is probably in kindergarten right now. He or she is probably, learning how to color. But yeah, for me, I'll be 100. So, I'll still be listening to my old shit, because I don't listen to a lot of current stuff. I don't listen to much current stuff at all, unless it's just artists that I know that I listen to that come out with albums. So, but that's just me. And I've realized a long time ago that a lot of the music that's being made isn't for me. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with that. I'm good with my 90s. I'm good with my 80s. I'm good with my 2000s and so forth. And albums here and there that I'll listen to, and artists that I'll listen to here and there. But other than that, no, hip hop will go wherever you allow it to go. But understand, it's in your hands, particularly for those of you who are listening or watching who are much younger than me. It's in your hands. My kids, it's in your hands. What you want this genre to be, what you want this culture to be, is in your hands, and you have to figure it out. I tell my kids that all the time. Like, it's a mystery, and you got to figure it out. And here's the thing: nobody's going to give you the answers. Like, you really got to figure it out. And as fans, as you're demanding more from your artists, demand more from yourself, and support what you like, but stay away from the BS, because I'm telling you, it's a lot of it out here. And you want your artist to give you something. I mean, I think that's the thing. When I look back on the hip hop that I really grew up on, that I love so much to this day, most of my artists, they gave me something. They gave me something to bob my head to. They gave me something to laugh at. They gave me something to smile about. They gave me something to inform me, empower me, and sometimes just to talk trash. And sometimes that was just good enough. So But yeah, hip hop will be wherever you guys take it. Like I said, I'll be 100. It ain't gonna matter to me one way or the other. Before I get out here, let's play this hip hop challenge. It a bunch of questions that ask. Well, actually, it's two parts. First, we'll ask you a bunch of questions about your current, not current, your favorite or the greatest rappers, and I answer the questions. And feel free, anybody who wants to get a copy of this, I can send it to you. Shout out to my boy Baylor, BTG for President is the podcast. If you want to remix this, you can. All you gotta do is say the word, and I'll email it to you. All right. So, greatest rapper for me, Rakim. Favorite rapper. Favorite rapper, I'm probably go Nas. Favorite current rapper. Pass. I don't have a favorite current rapper. Favorite female rapper. I'll say Rhapsody. Love Rhapsody. Favorite rap group. I mean, it's easy. It's Run DMC. Favorite rap collective. I'll probably go Wu-Tang. Favorite trap rapper. Favorite trap rapper is definitely Jeezy. Favorite rapper under 30. Pass. No, I don't know nobody under 30. Favorite storyteller. Ice Cube. Favorite. Most underrated. Most underrated, definitely Fonte from Lil Brother. Shout out to Tay. Most overrated. Oh, that's easy. Drake. Favorite producer. King Germ, you already know what the answer is. James DeWitt Yancey, a.k.a. Jay Dilla, a.k.a. the King of Beats. My man, rest in peace. Favorite rap album of all time. Illmatic. Favorite rap song. My Melody, Eric B. and Rakim. Favorite rap duo. Probably go Outkast. All right. So the last part of this challenge is, it goes a little something like this. You are a hip hop promoter, and you can put together a lineup celebrating 50 years of hip hop. A couple of things you got to do. You got to name your venue where you're going to hold this concert at, and you got to name your lineup. Here's the catch. You only have 10 slots. And you got to put them in order. So let me say that again. You're a hip hop promoter. You're putting together your lineups, celebrating 50 years of hip hop. You got to name your venue, name your lineup, and you only have 10 slots available. And you got to put them in order. So who's going to lead off and who's going to close out your show? All right. All right. So for me, 50 years of hip hop concert, my venue, I'm going to have it right here in the A, that way I don't have to travel anywhere. It's going to be a Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Falcons and the soccer team play. I forgot the soccer team's name. Anyway, 10 slots in order. Leading off, number one. So this is the act that's going to start my concert. DJ Jazzy Jeff. Jazzy Jeff on the Wheels of Steel. That's all I need. Jazzy Jeff cutting it up. That's all I need. He will get the pot. He will have the Benz. That's what we call the stadium. He'll have the Benz rocket. And the cool part about the Benz is we're gonna have it in the summertime, so the sunroof will be open. Yeah. Number two, I'm bringing out the Native Tongues crew. That's going to be Moni Love, Queen Latifah, De La Soul, and A Tribe Called Quest. And everybody's going to do some songs. Everybody's going to do some songs. So that's the second set of acts that I'm bringing out. Right? Number 3, I'm bringing out the 88 Crew. So these artists all dropped an album in 1988. I'm going Salt and Pepper, Eric B. and Rakim, Slick Rick, and EPMD. And they're going to perform in that order. So let me say it again. Salt and Pepper, Eric B. and Rakim, Slick Rick, EPMD. That's set number 3, right? Set 4, Rough Riders and Bad Boy. So with Rough Riders, you got Eve. We're going to play DMX because, I mean, obviously X not here. We're going to play DMX, and you got the Locks. Bad Boy, man, listen. We're gonna play a little Black Rob. We're going to play a little Big because they're not here. Maybe a little bit of Shine. Who else on that Bad Boy roster we can play? We can tap into a little 112 a little bit, but just, you know, some of the up-tempo joints in total. And of course Puff, he'll be here. That's set 4. Set 5, LL Cool J and the Roots. So the Roots will be performing, be his backup band. LL will be performing with Black Thought, and they'll do some LL songs and they'll do some Roots songs. That's gonna be that's the midpoint of the set right there. That's Act 5. Set 6, Outkast and the Dungeon Family. So when I say Dungeon Family, I'm talking Goody Mob, Backbone, Cool Breeze, all of those dudes. They're gonna be out there, and then obviously Goody Mob and Outkast. It's in Atlanta, so you gotta have the hometown cast in there. Set 7, we got to go to the West Side. Cube, Snoop, and Dre. I mean, you call it Up in Smoke, you call it West Side Connect, you call it whatever you want to call it. But Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre, I mean, that's a killer. I mean, like, I really could have let off that, but I got them in the 7th slot for a particular reason. Number 8, Wu-Tang. Ain't nothing else that need to be said. I mean, the whole clan. The clan is here. Set 9, I'm going with 2 of the best MCs in the game, Nas and Jay-Z. They will share the stage. So Nas gonna do his songs, Jay-Z's gonna do his songs, but they're gonna do them and they're gonna do this song together. We're gonna bring out State Property for some of Jay-Z's joints. No Dame, sorry Dame. I mean Dame, you're welcome, but I don't think Dame's showing up. And then last but not least, closing it out, Run DMC. Yep, that's it. So I'm gonna run it back. My 10 slots is at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. DJ Jazzy Jeff, Native Tongues with Monie Love, Queen Latifah, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, Salt and Pepper, the 88 Crew, Salt and Pepper, Eric B. and Rakim, Slick Rick, EPMD. Slot 4, Rough Riders and Bad Boy. Slot 5, LL Cool J and the Roots. Slot 6, Outkast and the Dungeon Family. Set 7, Ice Cube, Snoop, and Dr. Dre. Set 8, Wu-Tang. Set 9, Nas and Jay. And set 10, the headliner, the closing the show, to bringing down the curtains, Run DMC. I think that concert would be incredible. I mean, like, I don't know how much I would charge people for it, but and I don't know how long. Looking at this set list, I don't know how long these sets would be, but I mean, we could be looking at an 8-hour concert, and I would be perfectly fine with it. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. But yeah, that's how we would do it for 50. Again, happy birthday to hip hop. And again, I want to reiterate, I think, hip hop is going to be wherever you guys want it to be, because you're the consumer and you control it, and you have more control and more say than you think you do. Just don't let it die. Don't let it die. And for old heads like me, hip hop will never die, because all we got to do is press play and bring it back to life. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. The podcast drops every Thursday at midnight from time to time. We drop bonus episodes on Sundays at midnight. If you feel so inclined and you want to financially contribute to the show, hit us up on Cash App, $TWELVEKYLE. Again, that's going to do it for me. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.